Hey guys, Bass Addict and Opticast Pro staff, Matt Kaliszewski. We're on the water today. We're pre-fishing for a tournament that we have in 2 days here, and it's absolutely gorgeous out. But as you guys know, some of the nicest days out on the water make for the toughest fishing, and today's no exception. It was pretty grim. We had better stuff going last week, and I tried to avoid that stuff as much as possible today. So I guess take the weather when you have it, especially when you have to deal with the winters that we do up here. Anyways, as promised, I wanted to forward two main reasons why we found success in our first two tournaments this year, finishing two back-to-back first places. The first tip's going to be more oriented in a macro approach as it pertains to finding structure. The second one's going to be more of a micro approach as it pertains to your presentation and a situational presentation. So, Lake 1, our first tournament of the year, was the second weekend in June, and this year was kind of a warmer year out in Minnesota. We had really early ice outs, so in my mind I'm thinking, okay, the fish might be a little bit ahead of schedule. So I spent a lot of time driving actually in April and May looking for structure that would otherwise be covered once the vegetation started to grow in, and in that kind of weird intermediate depth, because typically in June we're in that post spawn phase. A lot of fish are on inside weed lines or holding to visible structure in shallow waters and stuff like that, so they're scattered, they're tough to find. But we know that typically the big girls, they move out deeper or out from the shallows ahead of the rest of the ecosystem. So we wanted to find that nice stationary structure that would be in kind of that weird mid-depth range, the 4 to kind of 10-foot range, where we think that some of the bigger fish might relate to later as the post-spawn kind of pattern transgressed. And we found some stuff, some hard bottom structure that did end up getting covered up by the weed line growing in, and sure as heck, when we pre-fished it, we caught a good fish out there. Come tournament day, we doorknobbed 2 5-pounders in the first half hour, and it made for a great day out on the water. The second tournament, we were lucky enough to draw a early launch number, so we got to a spot that's pretty well known. A nice hard bottom spot with a lot of rock. Big fish typically hold on that spot. It's no mystery. However, we had multiple boats. We sat on the same spot all day. Ended up winning, and we actually our difference from first place to second was 8 pounds. So we had a substantially better day fishing than the fleet. But we had 2 boats come up close to us and kind of fish the same structure. Out of casting range. They were cordial with our spacing and stuff like that. But anyways, they weren't having the success we were having. And the reason being was it was a cold front day. And we know we've heard that adage on cold fronts, downsize, slow down. And sometimes that may be true. However, I actually think it's more prudent to get on the bottom. That's kind of the first thing on a cold front. Get on the bottom. Slow down, yes, but not necessarily downsize. I like to just think of changing it up, right? Because a lot of times lethargic fish, something smaller might appeal to them or look more natural. However, lethargic fish aren't out there foraging. They're going to still relate to their structure that they're relating to, but they're looking for an easy meal. It's not like they're not going to be eating. For us, come Sunday, let's say your favorite chair, NFL Red Zone's on, and the wife walks by with some crackers. It might not be worth getting up. Now, she comes home with a bag of Taco Bell, a big meal, a $5 big box or whatever. You might go for that, no different than a fish, right? So we threw out a big presentation and just let it sit. Just let it sit there, let the fish decide when they wanted to strike, eat it, whatever. And that pattern ran true all day long, and you almost could not catch fish otherwise unless you were just letting it sit. So hopefully those things help you guys. Again, get out there before the vegetation grows in, find some solid structure, or some stuff that's going to get covered up as the season progresses. And when you guys come across those cold front days, slow down, get on the bottom, and change it up. Hopefully that helps you guys optimize every cast and put more meat on the deck.